Hey guys, today's vid is going to be on aftermarket headphone cables. Maybe you spent a reasonably uncomfortable amount on a new pair of headphones and you'd like to celebrate that with a subsequent purchase. Maybe the cables that shipped with your new cans are janky, uncomfortable, the wrong length, the wrong color, poorly made. Maybe you just want your cables to be the unique and dazzling snowflake that you know you are. Perhaps you want them to somehow sound better. This is the type of stuff we're going to be talking about today, so stick around.
I got a box, I got a knife. Let's cut into it. There we go. All right. Black hole sun. They love black hole sun. So these are two cables from Periapt. One is brand new, and one I got fixed. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. So this is for my Meze Empyreans. Oh, and I love the way it looks. Look at these connectors. Nicely heat shrinked. Really nice. See, the thing about Periapt that I love is the thickness of their cables. They are just they're so durable feeling. They feel really good and they don't get tangled up at all. We're going to talk about these. And this was my first ever custom cable that I ordered for my HD 800S, and I ordered them years ago. I think it was the right channel that just stopped working. Probably because this thing in the middle here, it gets caught on stuff and yank, it pulls, and that's probably what did it. I can't be 100% sure. But the great thing about Periapt is they agreed to fix them for me. I just had to send them in. And now I have my purple HD 800S cable back. This is the cable that I got with them. The connector is actually really nice, and the cable's not bad. It doesn't get tangled. It is, oops, it's ridiculously long. I think it's like 11 or 12 feet long, which is not so bad. But not braided here. Not nearly as nice as the Periapt, but I'm glad I kept it because I had something to use while they were fixing mine. These are beautiful. I really like these. And just for giggles, these are the set I ordered for my Hi-Fi Men Arias, and I love these as well. Cables, let's discuss. These are my Focal Stelia. Great set of cans. When I ordered these, I decided I would try a different custom headphone company, and because I really liked their system. So these are from a company called Hart audio cables. And what I like about these is, so this is your left and right channel to the headphones. This is a female mini 4-pin XLR, and this will connect with any one of these. So pretty much anything you can hook up your headphones to, I've got covered in this kit here. And The way that it works is, you know, you've got those 4 pins in the middle there, and you'd think it'd be annoying to line them up, but you just put them in anywhere, and then you turn until it fits, clicks in, easy. I could do it in the dark, no problem. And I really like that. So let's discuss differences. Right off the bat, you could see that Hart audio cables and Periapt cables are night and day with the thickness. The Periapt are way more robust, way thicker, and heavier as well as a result. Now the connector. So I got into all that trouble with my HD800 set because this caught. This little connector here, it's made out of, I guess it's metal, and really, really nice. This does not catch on things. It's too small. This catches on things. The cables that go into the headphone, the left and right channels, they look just as thick, but they're not. These are really loose, and they feel really nice when they're around your neck and whatnot, because they're really malleable, flexible, I suppose. These are a lot more stiff, but as a result, I believe that there's more shielding in them, and they're, look at that. See, this will just hang down, and then this stays straight. So there's the difference right there. As far as what they're terminated in, so I've got 4-pin XLR here. Periapt uses, for the most part, I think they use Nutric connectors. I actually love these. Hart, it doesn't say Nutric. I'm not sure what they use, but it just doesn't feel as nice. It's not as nice as the Nutric stuff. This one that came with my Hi-Fi Man Aria cable came with this Nutric connector, and I liked it so much that when I ordered the ones for my Meze, I specifically asked for them, and they didn't stock these anymore. So I was shipping my HD800 cable back to them to get fixed anyways. I ended up sourcing these locally. They're not that expensive, and they just put it on for me, which is really cool. These are my favorite. So let's talk use cases. These and my other sets are cables that are used in my office, primarily just my office, listening to music and editing videos and whatever. I like that these are more robust. They don't go out with me, so they don't really get in the way much. These, on the other hand, if I were to go portable, I would actually prefer these because they take up a lot less space. They're thinner. They could fit under, you know, a jacket and just not really get in the way. This connector thing won't catch on things if I'm out and about. Also, I use my Stellias in bed for watching TV. And I'd much rather have these lying down, weighing like next to nothing, than the heavier, more robust Periapt cables. So it actually fits perfect for my use case for the Stellia. I really appreciate that. These pretty much live in my office. These are either on my BTR5 listening to TV, or if I go out and want nice music with me, this is what I use, and they connect to here. One con, I had them plugged into my BTR5, and the 2.5 was plugged in here, and it's probably, the fault is probably with the 2.5 itself, but this bent a little bit. It still works, but it's just a little bent. Let's talk about the ordering process. So this is Periapt. You pick your cable, you pick your length, 5, 7, or 10, or if you want something custom, they'll do it for you if you send them an email. And then the color, you get OG, which is like a red and a black. Black, red, navy, orange, gray. I think navy's still out of stock. Probably my favorite of all the colors that they offer, but out of stock. And you pick your termination, Pro, XLR, or 3.5. And that's it. If you want something custom, you just send them an email and they'll work with you. And they'll, as I said before, they'll send you photos and you go from there. Hart is a bit different and I really like what they do. So if you just want what they have stock, you only have the choice between red and touch of gray, which is black with gray stripes, it looks like. However, they've got their custom shop, and this is freaking cool. So you pick from so many swatches that they have online. Look at all the stuff you can pick from. It just keeps going on, and there's more, and there's more, and there's more patterns. And you can just have so much fun choosing between the different swatch patterns and making one part of it, like the main cable one color and then the right and left channels two other colors. That's what I did. I really enjoyed that. It was a fun process. And I wish it were this simple with Periapt. They work differently. Here's patterns 2. It just goes on and on. They've got color changing. That's so cool. So just way more options. And the way that it happens is you send in your order, you speak to someone. I spoke to someone named Hannah. The emails are really proactively answered very quickly. And I mean, I must have gone back and forth with her so many times, so many different emails, changing my mind. But she was great, and I got exactly what I wanted. I really enjoyed the process of ordering with Hart. Periapt is great too. Don't get me wrong. They don't answer their emails as quickly as Hannah does from Hart, but they're both great. Very different beasts. They're both affordable, and they're both great options, I have to say.
Color is a more important factor than you may think. Besides really liking what I chose here, which of these cables do you think is more likely to be tripped over? Hot neon pink or this matte black? So having a bright cable can actually protect you from damaged gear, especially if you have long runs. I sit at least 6.5, 7 feet away from my amp, and I'd much rather something like this if one of my kids comes running through my office. So there's that. Now, will buying aftermarket cables improve your headphone sound? This is sort of one of those loaded topics that have people divided. On one end of the spectrum, you have folks saying that the sound has opened up with more resolution and musicality, a perceptible night and day difference when you spend on custom aftermarket stuff. On the other end, you get people saying that as long as the cable is not broken and properly shielded, properly made, you're going to hear the exact same thing.
I honestly tend to lean towards this opinion, but bear in mind, I've never properly tested this. If I wanted to, I would need two of the exact same headphones so I could switch back and forth quickly enough to see if there's any perceptible difference. And even if there is, do I like the difference better on a $600 pair of cables or the $100 pair of cables? I may end up doing this in the future, we'll see. Until then, I can't in good conscience recommend spending crazy amounts on such cables. Look at Meze's own silver-plated XLR. Just over 8 feet long and sporting the same Nutric connector. Well, almost the same. It looks a little different, but great quality nonetheless. The thing I appreciate about Hart and Periapt is these are handmade to spec, and they do not cost an arm and a leg. Just a quick comment on the innards. On Periapt's website, they mention 26 AWG Japanese copper, nylon fiber insulation, paper insulation, copper shielding, and military-grade paracord. Hart does not mention on their webpage what they're made out of. If anyone knows, please leave it in the comments. I'm sure they're decent. They sound fine. I'm not getting any cutouts or anything like that, but it would be good to know.
As you've probably guessed by now, I'm a fan of aftermarket headphone cables. I'm certainly not affiliated with any of these companies, but if you guys are watching, here's a couple things that I would change if possible. Periapt cables. Somehow make this Y connector smaller so it doesn't catch. If you have to keep it this same size, then maybe make it rounded at the top somehow so when it does inevitably catch, it won't pull on these ear cups as much. It would be great if you could have custom colors available as swatches somewhere on your webpage. Maybe you could even post them to a blog or Instagram or something. This would make things much more streamlined and quicker for those of us that want to do custom orders. Hard audio. Have an option for thicker and more heavily shielded cables. This would be great for lengthier cable runs, kind of like what I do here in my office, and probably end up being more durable in the long run. Having said that, the one I have here is actually perfect for my use case, so I'm not really complaining. It would just mean I'd buy another cable, a thicker one. Another thing that I think would be helpful is an explanation on your webpage of the type of materials used in these things. Bonus round. It would be so cool to have a custom order template that lets you drag and drop whichever flavor paracord onto various parts of a cable diagram. This would streamline things and avoid the need for extra communication back and forth. Also, it helps to visualize how the finished product will end up looking. And it's a lot of fun to use. I know this because Converse did something very similar a while back. My wife and I spent a long ass time configuring our high tops, and we submitted, and then we were told no Canadian orders, so that was that. If you've made it this far, I'm gonna flip and celebrate you right now. If you found this helpful and want to see my channel grow, please leave a like and subscribe. That's it for cables. I don't want to talk about them anymore. Thanks, guys. Good night.